So since you brought IGM up, so there's a lot of competitions and I wouldn't say extracurricular, but scientific events that and conferences that you participate in. So you've been in IGM, you've been in the GapSummit, and then you were the vice president for GapSummit in 2020 this year that just wrapped up a while ago. What is the kind of thought process that you have when you say that you want to participate in these kind of events? And then again, you have already talked about the sort of professional contribution that they have, but if there's anything more that you want to talk about.
Yeah, sure. So I think the reason I chose to do GapSummit is because I was actually attending the GapSummit in 2018 as a delegate. So this was my final year of my undergrad at Sheffield. And the GapSummit is basically an intergenerational conversation platform for current leaders, that is, speakers who come to the GapSummit who are like CEOs of big pharma. We had the chief scientist of the World Health Organization come this year. Basically, it's a conversation platform between current leaders of today and people who have the potential to be leaders of tomorrow. So the GapSummit brings together young people with these speakers, or rather leaders of today, and allows them to have a conversation about the biggest gaps in biotechnology over generally 3 days, but this year it was 5 days. And through this, they develop the kind of background knowledge that they need to kind of understand what the biggest gaps are from the current leaders and how they can tackle it in their own careers. So it's an inspirational event. It's also a great networking opportunity. And during the conference as well, and prior to the conference rather, you get put into teams within groups of 5 delegates, and you get to basically come up with the business proposal that you can pitch at the conference. So it's more of an entrepreneurial kind of training as well for people who haven't really been involved in startups, because obviously biotech is an industry that booms due to its startups, right? And so it's kind of a training program / a great educational opportunity / a good networking opportunity. So I got involved in it as a delegate in 2018, like I said, and I found it an amazing opportunity. And I had events experience from cultural activities that I organized at Sheffield. And so I thought it was the perfect combination of my interest in biotech and bioengineering and my interest in events organization. It just kind of came together. And so I thought it would be a good learning opportunity for me to learn more about the gaps in biotech by organizing it, because as the organizer, you're in charge of basically curating the entire event. So myself and 2 other leads of the conference, we basically we did a lot of background research. We came up with all the gaps. Some of them were taken from the past. Some of them were taken from ideas that we got from our advisory board. So our advisory board consists of a Nobel Prize laureate, some other professors at Cambridge, some industrialists as well. And we have conversations with them regularly about what should we bring to the conference that would be most relevant for our delegates. And so through these conversations, through our own background research, through our own personal experiences and professional experiences, we come up with 8 gaps that we think are like broad enough that we can have conversations around. And then we go out and find the best speakers that can speak to these gaps, that can bring their ideas and they can bring their own experience about what they're doing in these gaps to fill these gaps. And so through this, I thought I would gain a lot of knowledge, broad, big picture knowledge, which I have. And I decided to do it because I had time on my hands as well. I was at the time at IISc. I was a research assistant in Bhushan Thole's lab. And I had time on my hands. I was also applying for PhD. So I thought it was a great way to connect with professors back here in the UK, just to stay connected to the UK as well, because it was it was where I wanted to come back to. And yeah, just to grow my network, as you said. I think it's really important in today's time and age to kind of stay connected with people and have these conversations, because at the end of the day, they're just human beings. And, you can't just have conversations with these really successful people and it doesn't feel like, that they're any different at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine how productive those brainstorming sessions would be, where you're trying to find these gaps out, and that would be so helpful in your future career path, even if you decide not to, be a regular member of GapSummit or other conferences and take a completely different route, but you would just know so much more about things that need to be done. And that's an important skill to have, to be a good professional.